I'm just jumping on early so that you guys can find me. I have the weirdest setup in my dining room. The weirdest setup. I'm gonna have to take a picture and show you. But hey Glenda, this one's for you. Well, you and I have 3 people. Well, it's for everybody, but I have 3 people that I'm like, definitely need to speak to you guys. But I'm just hanging out for a couple more minutes to let more people jump on. How are you? I'm so glad you're in here. So we're going to talk about soul and living a soul-led life and business. Have you ever read Florence Shinn? I never have. But he writes a book. This is like 4 books in one. And he writes a book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. And it really talks about manifesting, and there's a lot of scripture in it, which I'm okay with. I'm good with that. But it really is about manifesting and how life really works. And we have all these beliefs that life is hard, and so we get a life that's hard. And I guess I still believe that to some degree, but I have definitely switched that around. Hey Linda. I have definitely switched that around to believing that life gets to be easy, right? You get to have what you want. And this is something that I didn't really know. I spent so much of my life thinking, and I'm sure you guys can relate, that I had to do something to make money. And not only that, I had to do something that I didn't want to do. Software engineering. Shocker. But when I started my business, that belief carried over. I thought that I had to do something to make money, and things that I didn't want to do, like follow a system, right? Obviously, you have to put yourself out there in some way. But you can do it in a way that feels good for you, right? So in business, you have to put yourself out there in some way. In relationships, you have to put yourself out there in some way. But we have this fear of being seen. And it comes from our past, right? Because we think that we are going to be judged. And if I'm honest, a lot of you have followed me for, well, Glenda, I think we've known each other 2.5 years. But when I started getting online, I was terrified because I was afraid of doing it the wrong way and being judged. And these things are taught to us. Who just jumped on? Because I think it might be Michael, but I'm not sure. But say hi. Yeah, Phil, hey. We're just chatting. We're just chatting about the beliefs that we have. And the question is, have you read The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Shinn? I have not, but I started to, and it's very like manifesty and soul-based, lots of scripture, but it really is the way the world works, and he uses scripture to back that up. But we believe that we have to do these things that we don't love. Like software engineering. Phil is a software engineer. And then, like, when you start your business, you still carry that belief, and you take on clients that you don't want to take on, and you do work that you don't necessarily want to do work in, like if you know, helping people with something that you're not really aligned with, like when you're first starting out, or charging rates that don't feel comfortable and good to you, or following systems that don't feel good to you. We've compromised our whole life. We've compromised what we want, what our heart wants, for the right way, for the right thing. Because especially if you start a business, hey Sam, especially if you start a business, there's the right way to attract clients. There's a right way to do things, right? And you feel like you need to figure out the right way, or figure out the system, so that then it will give you permission, once you know the right way, find your own way. But we should be finding our own way the whole way. Like the way our soul wants to make money, the way our soul wants to make friends, the way our soul wants to eat healthy, right? And lose weight, or whatever our goal is. Yes, Sam, you are. And we just think, okay, well, what's everybody else doing? What's the right way? And we look for outside opinions, thoughts. And as a coach, I can tell you that my opinion, or what I think logically, has just been discounted over and over again, right? I will look at a situation, and if I judge it, I can say, well, that's terrible, I don't see how that's going to work out. But I have learned to, obviously I don't judge my clients, because I can't. I've learned not to judge people. I used to be so judgy. I've learned not to judge a situation, because you just never really know. The power of God, the universe, the power of your heart, all these things are so much bigger than what we see physically, right? So we see the system, the strategy that we're supposed to do to call in these clients. We've been taught, we've been taught the right way. And it's almost as if we need permission to do what we want to do. And I've gone through this. I've gone through so many coaches. You guys know that I've had so many coaches, because I believe in it. But I've gone through times where I've just been coached, and then when I need a break from those coaches, I just realize that I get my sense of permission to do what I want to do. Even though I hire coaches that teach me to be me, there's still this permission that I need to give myself to be me, right? And it has to be a conscious thing. And I'm shifting a ton of my beliefs, because I'm an achiever. I'm always been an achiever, but life has a way of making you follow your soul. Meaning, when I was in my 20s and I was married to a man that I didn't trust, my mom passed away. And that gave me a wake-up call that I couldn't stay in that situation, right? This last year, I went through the Adderall thing. And while that was a bad situation, and I don't wish that on anybody, I went through so much chronic pain, and I physically could not sit. In case anyone's not caught up. I think you guys are all caught up, I think. But because I had to put myself first and really couldn't show up in the way that I wanted to show up, it really taught me to pull back and listen to my heart, listen to my soul, follow my soul. Because pulling back and doing less, especially if you're a business owner, is counterintuitive, right? We feel like we have to show up all the time, work so hard. You guys put your questions in as I go so I can make sure to answer your questions. We feel like we have to push ourselves and work so hard. But if we know how to tap into our soul, which is what manifesting is just tapping in, following your heart. And when you follow your heart, it creates abundance. It creates these things that you want. So your desires are given to you for a reason, right? All these things that you've been told, you should probably do the responsible thing, or that's not realistic, right? Your desires, and people have told you it's not realistic. For me, people told me give up on the whole Marco thing, and I realized that I couldn't tell them what was going on and had to work with all of that. But it doesn't make sense. Your heart isn't going to make sense. Following your soul isn't going to make sense. But it's just like anything. I learned to swim like 4 years ago. A little late, but when I learned to swim, it was like so much technical stuff in my head. And if I didn't practice that and I was just told that, it wouldn't make any sense. But when you practice manifesting and practice it with all areas of your life, with your health, your business, money, relationships, when you in any area, when you practice it, it starts to really make sense. It starts to make sense that if you do actually work less and have more fun, you make more money. You call in the soulmate clients, right? This whole coaching circle that I created, someone told me, and I'm sure a lot of you are also thinking, this doesn't make sense. Why is she doing this for that rate? I don't know what rate it was when you guys joined, but like right now it's 37. Why is she doing it for 30? Why is that so cheap? And it's so cheap because I was following soul. I don't know why I was called to create this group, but I do know that it lights me up. I do know I have a strong message for you, and I do know that like whatever comes of this, it's only going to create a ripple effect, right? This is just the beginning. And it might be, me just learning to fine tune, following soul, because it's a relationship. It's learning to follow your soul, right? It might be part of a learning process for me. It might be that, I don't know, I create a partnership with one of you, or it might be that, well, I'm sure that all of your lives are going to be changed, but like, I can't see why I was told to create this group, and it doesn't make sense on a lot of levels, but I love it. I love every single person that joined. Like, I know why, like, Sam, Phil, Glinda, Dave, I love every single person that joined. And yeah, logically, it doesn't make sense. Why did she do this for $37? But if I go to my soul, it makes perfect sense, because I know that people need to hear my message. I need to connect with you guys on a daily basis. Hey, Cielo. Yeah, like her, I haven't seen her in a couple of years. I know that this foundation for you, especially in January, is so, so crucial to your success. So I don't know why I was called to do this group. I do know that it lights me up. I know that I had a lot of fun. I've already had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun reaching out to each of you. I know that I feel connected in this group, and I want you guys to feel connected. I know that I'm creating something beautiful. So logically, that doesn't make sense, but it does on a soul level, right? So what keeps us from following soul? I don't know what time it is. Let me see. Okay. What keeps us from following soul? And it's fear. It really is fear. Fear from our past stuff that has told us that it's not okay to do things a certain way, right? It's not okay to be ourselves. When I first started online, I was very confused, trying to be professional, and it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. Now I'm in like half PJs. Okay, I have a like nice shirt on and then PJs on the bottom. But like, I'm myself now. And being myself is where I make money, where I make connections, where I call in my soulmate clients. So what are you dealing with right now? What questions do you have? How are you doing following soul? Is this resonating? Because I want to get on it and answer a few questions if you have them. So yeah, it's not going to make sense, and you're probably going to resist following soul. I did. We have just been brought up with this logical mindset that these are the things that you do to get the result, and you do those things. And while manifesting is doing those things, manifesting is also a spiritual energy about intention and focus. To what you were saying before, constantly pushing myself and generally feeling undeserving, or like what I have to offer might not be enough, so I keep pushing myself. And honestly, it can be, yeah, okay, being exhausted means you're probably not following soul. Exhausted. I am simultaneously a mother of 3, a toddler and preteen and teenager, which is always trying to make them happy, getting a career ahead, and trying to build a business. So okay, you know how the Adderall like held me back and kept me from doing a lot? So your kids might be, well, your kids are a priority. Let's just be real. Your kids are a priority, but your kids are a thing that is going to help you have to intentionally slow down and connect to your soul so that you can bring your business, like bring in the clients, bring in the money. You actually have to slow down, connect to your soul, and when you're super intentional, and as you get better at this, you can manifest faster. But I feel like it's a thing in your life that's going to make you have to follow soul, because the fastest way to do something is the most counterintuitive too. It's following soul. It's not following a process, because when you follow your soul, you actually have more time. Like, time actually expands for you because you can manifest time, and you get results so much faster. Is this making sense? So I've done both ways, where I just push, exhaust myself, and it worked, but in a like not feeling good way, right? This works way better. It's way easier, makes me happy, gets results, way better results, way faster, all the things. So following soul may not make sense right away, but once you get it, you really get it. How do I know where I am actually following my soul? Are there signs? So this is something I work deeply with my clients. So like maybe a business client or in relationships, lots of times both. To know, okay, so when you're first starting out, if something doesn't feel right, like, okay, so the signs are how you feel. So you have to really be aware of how you're feeling. And if something doesn't feel good, you're probably not following soul. So I had a off feeling where earlier today where I was like, I read an email and I was like, ooh, that does not feel good. And so intuitively, I knew what I needed to do with that. But it's like noticing those things that come up that don't feel good. Because your soul is like, your soul wants to have fun. Honestly, your soul wants to have fun. It's like going out dancing. And if you're not living your life in a joyful way and you're not really happy, like if you're exhausted, probably not following soul, or probably doing too much, which is going to keep you from following soul. So really looking at your feelings and being really aware of those and then taking care of those things. And what I mean by taking care of is like you can't control your feelings, but you need to connect to your feelings and work through them. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me know if you have any more questions. Glenda, did that help for you? You can ask more questions. Feel free. So, again, if you have not picked up, the book is The Game of Life and How to Play It. Florence Shin. Yes, I understand. Your energy goes into only the most important things that are aligned with your soul. Therefore, better, faster results, because there is no need to waste time in things that are not soul aligned, and probably also because the energy that flows opens more doors. Yes. But it is counterintuitive, right? I know that just saying that, just explaining like on this live, just explaining this, that it doesn't really sink in until you're actually living your life, and it's going to come up again and again, right? So it does take practice, but it is super counterintuitive, especially for women like us. Like, I know how you work. I know how you work, because I'm the same way. So, yes, totally. Okay, that is it. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. or whatever time it is. And drop your questions and I will answer those. And I am so happy that you're here.